Welcome to the Answers for Elders radio show. Meet the trusted experts who will give you straight answers and will help guide you on the path of later life care. Now, here's your host, founder, caregiver, and CEO, Suzanne Newman.
And welcome back, everyone, to Answers for Elders Radio Network. And we have spent an amazing hour with Dr. Shawn Weiss, who is one of our specialists on Answers for Elders. And certainly, I am excited to kind of ramp up her representation on Answers for Elders as she talks to us about wellness, about achieving optimal health, and about really thinking about, as we age over 50, how can we live our best life? And we've talked just through this hour. If you guys are just joining us this hour, make sure you check out Shawn on Answers for Elders sometime next week. Her interview will be popping up. And so, Shawn, I am very interested on, you talked a lot we mentioned it early, but I would like to kind of come back and talk to you a little bit about the gut brain axis. And we had talked a little bit before about, me, I don't eat breakfast in the morning. And you just went, Suzanne. So but that's a brain thing, right? That I've taught myself to be. Is that correct?
Well, I mean, yeah, in some things, you have habits and you have connections that you just do. But with the gut brain axis, if you think of it as like a two-way highway, right? So what one does affects the other.
Okay.
You have, a complex network of nerves, neurons that talk to each other throughout the day. The best, easiest way to illustrate that there is a gut-brain connection is, for instance, when you get nervous, right? If you're nervous and anxious about something, you feel those butterflies in your stomach, right? Yep. There's a direct connection in the neurotransmitters, the chemicals that the brain sends for situations like that, kind of your fight or fight responses, all because of that two-way highway communication system between your gastrointestinal tract and your vertebrae.
Yeah. And like I told you that my body knows I'm not going to feed it for 12 to 15 hours, right? So it stores anything that I eat in fat cells. It knows that it has to do that because of the way I've been treating it. And I'm sure that that's part of it, right? It's amazing how our bodies accommodate.
Well, if I don't eat, or if I just eat like a bird, and I'm okay. I mean, if you're eating small meals throughout the day, I mean, you see lots of different schools of thought, like, oh, you should eat 3 strong meals, or you should eat every 3 hours. There's benefit in all of those, but the not eating part, there's not benefit in. You have to fuel your body. In fact, you'll see people that for weight management and weight loss, to get their head around the fact that they have to eat more in order to help build muscle strength and burn calories for weight loss instead of eating less.
Is it true that muscle weighs more than fat?
It does. Yeah, it is true. And it burns more calories than fat.
Yeah. So that makes a difference
too. Muscle mass and eating protein and all of those things.
So as you're building muscle mass, there may be a time where you feel you're not losing weight, but actually it's dispersing into something that is actually burning fat better and functioning your body better. Do you think that's why we go through plateaus?
I'm sorry?
Do you think that's why we go through plateaus in weight loss? Part of it?
I think, like I said, but it's all connected on your plateaus. It's not just about exercise. It's not just about nutrition. You might be going through a stressful time in your life, and your whole body changes, right? Think about just the simple fact of when you get sick. If you get a virus and you have no energy, you're weak, you're not thinking clearly, you don't feel hungry. So any little disruption in those pillars of health and in those body systems will change as stress levels change, or as your time, I'm going to make a huge change in my life, or if you're going through trauma. All those things do affect it, not just one thing.
And then obviously as we get older, a lot of times we'll get gastric reflux, we'll get different things like that, inflammation in our system. Why is that affecting people more when they get older?
Well, inflammation is like one of the number one things that we deal with. And when I'm coaching clients, we are talking about inflammation. Now, not there's two different types of inflammation. You have acute inflammation, you have chronic. Acute is, hey, I just hurt my knee, it got swollen, or I have the flu.
Yeah.
And your body's response is to send those infiltrates into your system,
Right.
which causes inflammation. But I'm talking about chronic inflammation, inflammation from the processed foods that we eat that will cause inflammation and leaky gut.
Yeah.
And that causes a whole host of systems, constipation.
That's why we can't eat what we used to eat.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Inflammation is, our food greatly affects the inflammatory responses in our body. And
Sure.
once you start eliminating things, for instance, a good example, I have gluten sensitivity. I'm not officially allergic to gluten, but I definitely have a sensitivity. I know exactly when I make the choice, right? Because I'm very much a realist. You're not going to get, something overly strict with me. I'm going to live life. I might have a dark piece of bread when I have my steak, right?
Absolutely.
But guess what? I know what that's going to cause.
Yeah.
And it's not possible physically to gain 3 pounds in a
Right.
weekend because you went and watched the ball
Absolutely.
game and had hot dogs. It's inflammation in your body. That's why your joints get stiff after
Got
you
it.
partake
Yeah.
in that. So all reversible.
So, Dr. Shawn Weiss, you do free consultations, and I would like you, we've got about 2 minutes left, a minute and a half. I would love to have you talk a little bit about what happens and to reach out and if you contact you regarding a consultation.
The easiest way is to go on the website because there is a direct link to a calendar. You can schedule. We will talk for 45 minutes to an hour. I love more than anything just hearing people's stories because, the first step is, a decision to try and to learn.
Sure.
And sometimes just having that conversation when you don't know where to start is super important. So we will talk for 45 minutes to an hour. I want to hear your story. And then that kind of let's have a game plan, right? And sometimes just
Right.
taking that step is super, super important. And I do have things, I have one-on-one sessions individually. I have 30-day programs. One is what's really important is the food and move. We talked a lot today about moving your body and nutrition. I combine that into a 30-day program. I do address the stress where we specifically focus on reducing stress. I do a sleep restoration 30-day program. Those are all 30 days. And then I do a VIP 12-week program where we will send gut tests, stool samples, and everything to your house. And we will work for 12 weeks on every pillar of health.
That's amazing. And, for all of you that are listening, I strongly recommend Dr. Shawn Weiss. And I'm very excited to have some time to, just share her knowledge with each and every one of you. And so, Shawn, it's been such an honor to have you on the show.
So fun, Suzanne. Thank you. I can't wait to, get deeper into some of these pillars of
Hey,
health.
we're going to
rock a whole segment on some of these.
Watch Answers for Elders, everyone, because there's going to be a lot of content here popping up over the next few months. And thank you again for being with us this week.
Thank you, Suzanne. My pleasure.
Time to get back to Suzanne and more Answers for Elders.
I would like to thank again our guest for this hour, Dr. Shawn Weiss. And if you're interested in improving your health and living more optimally, please check her out. You can check her website. It's Shawn, SHAWN Michelle, MICHELE.com. And her website will be up on our website on Answers for Elders. And until next week, be good to each other. We at Answers for Elders thank you for listening. Did you know that you can discover hundreds of podcasts in our library on senior care? So visit our website and discover our decision guides that will help you also navigate decision making. Find us at answersforelders.com.